Complete Quarterback. I'm your host, John Sarianides, and we're back after a brief hiatus. We're back with you this week, and we are joined by Lawson Foley, wide receiver safety from Scituate High School. Lawson, how are you this evening?
I'm great. I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, man. We're winding down here. Of course, the school year is over, and now we're into camp season, and before you know it, it'll be training camp time, and it'll be the season. So, trying to enjoy the coming weeks because I think, as you can attest, we know what's coming once we get into August. And I want to start there, with your football journey. How did you get into football? When did you start playing football? And when did you know that this is a game that I want to play, that I enjoy playing, and I enjoy being around my teammates and playing the game of football?
I started my journey playing football around first grade when I moved here from Toronto, Canada. My inspiration of wanting to play the game was from my older brother and my dad. My dad played college ball up in McMaster, up in Canada, and my brother played a little bit here at Scituate. And that was really my big inspiration to get into the sport because I really looked up to both of those people in my life. And even though my brother stopped playing football in high school and my dad played in college, I always wanted to be like them, play college football, have that experience, and always try to be like the person they are and their work ethic.
Now, playing football is one thing, but growing up, kids tend to play multiple sports. What else did you play growing up, and are you playing those other sports now?
When growing up, the main sports I was playing were lacrosse, a little bit of baseball and basketball. And then get into high school, my main focus was on football. I played a little bit of lacrosse my freshman year. Then I decided to change to track my winter and spring season because I really wanted to have that um, momentum of getting faster in the off season. Have that football mindset to make sure I'm the fastest guy and have that great work ethic in the off season, and make sure I'm always like have that mindset of football and using track in the winter and spring off season. That really helps me, get faster, more explosive, and all that, and make sure I'm ready for football.
Speaking of getting ready for football, obviously you're heading into your senior year. This is a big off season for those that want to play in college. What has your off season been like so far? And have you had a chance to prepare for the season by doing camps, showcases, and whatnot?
Going into for my off season, it's been a lot of hard work. Us football guys can't really have an easy, calm off season. I've had a couple of camps I've been going to, and I have a few coming up. And we started our lifting program for Scituate. We have a great guy. He's from Springfield, Quinn Sweeney. He uses his program to just like Springfield's. It's a great lifting program. All the guys love it. We go from Monday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I feel like it's a great program. And then other than that, with my team wise, I'm going to the local gym. So I'm working out around almost 2 times a day. And I also go to the turf at my high school and also make sure I'm getting some footwork in, working on my routes and anything I need to work on to be ready for the upcoming season.
And speaking of the off season, have you had a chance to visit any schools? Have you talked to any college coaches? How has that process been going for you so far?
I would say it's going great. I've been to a few visits in that spring period. A couple schools I've been to are UNH, Merrimack, Brown, and a few others. And I've talked to multiple of coaches after camps or even during the off season, like during the before the dead and after the dead period. And it's been great. I feel like I've gone in communication with a bunch of coaches, and the visits I've been to have gone really well. And it really helps me like know where I am on the recruiting board, and that's like normally my first question, like where I am on your recruiting board, so I know does that school really have that interest in me or they don't. That's what my main focus is in.
Yeah, and speaking of that, obviously, as you go into your senior year, part of the process this offseason is to prepare not only for your senior year, but to also show up and show out at these showcases, at these camps. You mentioned some of the stuff you were doing this offseason, but what are some other areas that you focused on as you try to prepare not only for your senior year, but
Sorry, can you
for
repeat
an
that?
opportunity to play at the next level?
You're cutting out there.
What are some other things that you've done this offseason to help yourself prepare for not only next season but to play football beyond that?
I feel like a lot of things honestly outside of football. The past couple of months, I did lose 3 grandparents, and I feel like that's really keeping me motivated right now. I
I'm
feel like,
sorry to hear
and
that.
thank you, and the loss of my coach and one of my friends, one of my best friend's dad. I feel like those 4 losses in my life have really kept me motivated this past couple of months because I feel like I want to really play for them. I want them to be able to see not only me shine, but of course my teammates throughout this off season, and I want to make all of them proud. That's been my main motivation. Um, Otherwise than my workouts and all that, I just want to make sure they are shining down on me and my teammates and I'm making them proud.
What do you like about playing football? I mean, people have a variety of thoughts on a question like that, but what do you like about playing football?
Has to be probably the intensity. Like that jitters coming up to the game. First hit they all go away, but you're still like hyped up. I love the leadership type of it. I love being a leader to my teammates. I love hyping them up. I love playing the game. Just the whole feel of it. It make like that's like a way for me to just leave all my distractions away and just focus on the game. And it's just like such like a game that like builds up my intensity, my mindset. It's a big mentality game. I just feel like just having all those things, that's what really like I love doing in the game. It's just so fun.
Coming back to the college side of it for a sec, Lawson, have you thought about what you're looking for in a school? What is the ideal school for Lawson Foley in terms of academics and athletics?
For academics, what I'm mainly looking for is sports marketing. That's like I feel like what I want to do as a major because I always want to focus what I want to do after college. And if football doesn't work in any of that, I always want to look at what's after that. That second step. But my main focus in a college is honestly their interest in me. If I go to a college and they don't show their interest in me, even though I've been talking to them, that doesn't really give me like good vibes about them or any of that. But if I go to school and they talk about how great of a player I am, how great I am on my routes, and they've watched my film and they like pick out certain plays that they know they've watched from, that shows a really high interest in me. And I really enjoy to hear a coach talk about what I'm great in and what I can improve on to show that when I come to this school or to that future college, I will be able to improve on those things and have a coach that knows that they want me to be there and not someone that just maybe wants me to be there. It's just whatever my choice is.
You are watching the Recruiting Visit presented by Complete Quarterback. I'm your host, John Serenitas. This week, we are joined by Lawson Foley, wide receiver and safety from Scituate High School. What's it like playing for Herb Devine? Of course, Coach Devine's a good friend of ours here at New England Football Journal. I've known him for a long time. One of the best people out there that you could meet in any arena. But what's it like playing for him?
Man, he's smartest guy you got to meet. He's such how he breaks down plays. If it's film or in a game, he just knows what he's doing. He knows what play he wants to run. He knows who the ball wants to go to. He knows everything. He's how he coaches our team is beyond like definitely like a college football level. He knows how to coach a team. He knows how to treat his players. He knows how to do everything. Having him as my coach on my side, I can ask him anything, no matter if it's football wise or anything that's out of football. He's always there for help. He's definitely a great coach, a great friend, and someone I can always ask for help. He's someone who like I can know if I have a question about football, he has me a question. If I have a question about recruiting, he has many coaches he can have options for me. And even for school or any of that, he's a great person I can rely on. And I feel like anyone on my team always can ask him for help. Such a great guy. Love being his coach. And he, honestly, I don't know. He's a great guy. I always love being with him.
Yeah, and the one thing I could say about Coach Devine, like most coaches, but he really puts a lot of effort into the recruiting process and helping his players get recruited. And you just talked about that loss, and I think that's a big part of it. Again, a lot of coaches do that, but I know, and again, I've known Coach Devine for a long time. I know how important that part of the coaching process is to him. If I were to ask your teammates to tell me 3 things about you, what do you think they would say?
I would definitely would say that I'm a leader. I'm loud. And another thing is that I care about this team. I care a lot ever since my freshman year. Ever since I seen my teams both win a championship, the 2018 and 2021 year, they'd always know I want to be there, and they know I'm going to motivate them. And they also know that I'm a heck of a football player, and that I'll always bring them up no matter what situation we're in. If we're down by 2 touchdowns or even by a blowout, they know I'll always be the voice of the crowd. I'll always be loud, picking them up no matter what. I'll also make sure if they have their head down or have a bad play, I always tell them to flush it. Next play. Last play doesn't matter. Always where you do the next play. And I feel like those three things are the main thing that my players would come out of me. As I'm just a hardworking kid, I have that leadership role, always loud, and always care for my teammates no matter what.
And would your coaches say something similar if I asked them to tell me 3 things about you?
Sorry about that. Sorry, cut out again.
No, it's okay.
You say my
I was
coaches?
yeah. Would your coaches, if I asked them to tell me 3 things about you, would they say the same thing? Lawson, I don't know if you heard the question. Would your coaches say the same things if I asked them?
Hello?
Just having a little technical difficulty here for a sec. Waiting, see if Lawson can hear us here again. We are joined by Lawson Foley, wide receiver, safety from Scituate High School. Lawson, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Lawson, can you hear me? All right, we've lost Lawson. Hopefully he can come back here momentarily. Again, we are joined by Lawson Foley, wide receiver, safety from Scituate High School. Scituate has a good group back next year. They should be a player in Division IV. Of course, program is led by Herb Devine. And I think we got Lawson back. Lawson, can you hear us now?
There.
All
Yep.
right.
Sorry
Technical
about that,
difficulty. It happens. But what I had asked you was, would your coaches say the same thing if I asked them to tell me 3 things that they think
Of
about you?
course. They would say the same. I bet they say even more. They know probably much more than I do. But I feel like they would say definitely those 3 things would be definitely the number one thing they would say.
Obviously, we're living in a time now that where, from a recruiting standpoint, it's getting harder and harder for high school kids to get that opportunity to play in college, thanks to the transfer portal and NIL. The landscape has really changed in college football, specifically the Division I level, the FBS level. Have you had conversations about that with Coach Devine, your family, about the process and when the right time would be to make a decision when that day ultimately comes?
I definitely had that conversation. I know those COVID years are slowly coming to an end, but I know that transfer portal is huge. And big thing I also ask coaches is how the transfer portal is. Do they have kids leaving? Do they have a lot of kids coming? I feel like that's a big question for me to know. Is to know if they have a bunch of these kids coming in that are in my spot, then they want more than me. I feel like that's a huge thing in colleges. And I've had that talk to mostly Coach Devine and another coach, Coach Sweeney. They talked about me like if they have like all these coaches coming in or all these like new coaching staffs, new players. I feel like that's such a big thing in the transfer portal. And they have told me that, like I said, the COVID years are slowly coming to an end, which is good for me. But number one thing they want me to ask coaches is how is the transfer portal? How are they having kids come? How are they having leaving? So I know, do people want to stay at this program, or do people want to really come to this program? That's what I want to know about the program.
Have you thought about what you want to major in? Obviously, that's a big part of the process. We talked a little bit about this earlier in regards to picking a school, but have you thought about a major and what you want to do after football? I mean, we'd love to play football as long as possible and make money doing it, but eventually the game does end for people. Have you thought about what you want to major in life after the game?
Yeah, like I said, I was going to do sports marketing as my major, and my minor. I haven't figured exactly what I would like to do, but definitely something that would really be helpful for a plan B if sports marketing doesn't work. Like this school year, I'll be taking a class called Honors Career to Internship, which will be taken a business local or far away that would be to do an internship with and learn about all their company and all that for my class. And I already narrowed down a company that I'll be doing. I'll be doing an internship with the Blue Jays from a connection with my dad, which I feel like that will help me a lot with future internships and for future job applications.
So you'll be doing an internship with the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah, I will start doing an internship this fall for my class that I'll be taking in school.
Excellent. And how's that going to work? I'm assuming you're not going to be on site. It's going to be off site and doing stuff at home.
I will be on during the class hours. I will either be in a quiet place in school or I will be at home. I'll have a Zoom call with the specific person that I will be doing an internship with, and they would teach me how the company works, how does the marketing field work, and what works around there.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a tremendous opportunity. And, I'll be honest with you, Lawson, I think we need more of this in public education because you're getting this great opportunity. And I think a lot of young people would benefit from opportunities like this. I think we need to reimagine education a little bit and start to give kids these opportunities, specifically in high school, especially when you get to junior and senior year. You don't really, term 4 should be about opportunities like this, where you get to get out there and do an internship and get some real world experience. So I'm happy to hear that you're going to be doing that. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. When you're not playing football, when you're not lifting, you're not practicing, what do you like to do off the field? What are some hobbies or things that pique your interest that you like to do when you're not around the game?
During the fall season, if I'm not practicing, I love to coach the Scituate team, which was my youth team. I love to go there and coach. I was coaching my brother with my dad a couple of years ago before he entered high school, and I think I'll be coaching my friend's younger brother this year, hopefully. And also, I love hanging out with a couple of my friends, going to the beach. We have great beaches here down at Scituate.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. Always love, and it perfect time in summer. It's hot. Beaches are definitely the number one thing that are hot right now. But in the winter, love, go around other towns. Hanover has great food places. And also with my family, we love to go back up to Canada and see the rest of my family. Always love to go back up there because it's hard to see them.
How important is it to have that balance to get away from the game?
Sorry, say that again.
How important is it to have that balance to get away from the game? As coaches, we all want gym rats. We all want guys that love the game. But how important is it to get away?
I feel like at times when I know I'm not doing football at this time, or I'm not working out, I'm not hanging out with friends, what I really like to do is music. Music really helps me keep calm, or going on drives at a certain time of night. Scituate, again, has beautiful views. I love driving around the town, just soaking in all what this town has to offer. The harbor, all the cliffs, any of that. I feel like that really calms me and keeps me just calm and away from whatever is stressful for me. If it's football, school, or any of that, those things really help me keep calm.
Coming back to football, let's talk about your pregame routine here. Are you a big superstition guy? Do you have to set up your uniform the night before and dream big, or are you the type of guy that just rolls in the day of a game, gets changed, goes out there, warms up, and plays?
I would say I would be a little bit superstitious. What I like to do is when I come home, I go straight to my dad, and he always tapes me no matter what. I always have him tape. I can't have the trainer tape me or anyone else. I will always have him because I feel like that gives me some luck in the game. And after that, I always get a certain drink and sometimes certain food, depending on how I'm feeling. And I wouldn't feel like that's really that big on my superstition because that hasn't really either lost me or won me any games. But I feel like that's just the main thing I need is some fuel in my body. And then when I always get to the locker room, I'm always playing music my way there. And then I always play a certain song right when I walk into the locker room.
Now, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to segment this. Okay, so let's go back to the meal. Are you a big pregame meal guy, or are you eating light before a game?
I like a nice sandwich out of my game. It could be any sandwich, but it has to be a good sandwich for me to eat because I feel like that really fills me up, but doesn't fill me up too much, and it also doesn't make me want to eat more. And then for a drink, it always is a pink Monster. I don't know why, but I feel like every time I drink that certain drink, it always like just makes me play better, and it always like makes me want to go out there and run someone over.
Now, when you say a sandwich, is there a specific spot in Scituate that you like to eat? Because we're big on that here in New England Football Journal. We want recommendations of restaurants because we're all over the place. Is there a specific spot that you like to go to?
Definitely has to be the Lucky Finn. Lucky Finn has great sandwiches, great drinks, all of that. It's a great place for the morning all the way to the afternoon, and nice for a nice dinner. Um, Definitely Lucky Finn. Those sandwiches are great. I would get any sandwich there. That really helps me fuel me up. And
That's one hell of an endorsement. I mean, they should pay you for this spot.
maybe, I don't know. And it's perfect because the gas station is right next to Lucky Finn, so I can get my drink and my sandwich there, and I go straight to the field.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned music. You said there's a specific song that you like to listen to before a game. What is that song?
There had to be Redbone by Childish Gambino. It is not like a pump up song. It's something that it's very calm. I like to use that song because right when I hit the locker room, I play Redbone and I take a nice walk. I walk around my school. It just really keeps me calm. I walk a certain direction. It's a certain path I take around the school that almost hits perfectly about how long the song is. And I feel like that song just really keeps me calm before the game and before I start my pump up music.
Awesome. Now, are you guys a speaker team where you have a speaker in the locker room and guys are picking the music, or are you guys doing your own thing music wise?
I feel like many kids are gonna have headphones in, but we always will have music playing on a speaker. Some kids are, no headphones, our headphones. Some and probably before the game, we always have our coach, motivating us. I feel like we're a mix with all of them. We always have kids with headphones in, listening to music, having their own time to, be prepared for the game. We have kids always, dancing, listening to music with the speaker, and then after all of that, we're gonna have our coach, Coach Devine, give us a breakdown, and then give a quick speech, and then we're ready for game time.
Awesome. Now, do you get involved in the music, or do you kind of let other people do that?
I feel like I want to do my own thing with music. I feel like I always like to listen to my own music. I let everyone else, listen to what they want to do. And for the kids who don't like to use headphones, they always pick the music. I would say it's good music, but I like to listen to my own music. I feel like that really would help me be prepared for the game.
And before we wrap up here, I got a couple of quick questions for you. When it comes time to make a decision in terms of where you want to go to school, is it going to strictly be your decision, or will you huddle up with family and discuss it?
I feel like it'd be slightly a mix of that, but more on to me. My parents will always talk to me about when a school is recruiting me. They always look if they have the major I want to do. If they don't have that major, they would always say, if you would really want to go there, you always have the option to. But if I don't want to go there because of the academics and they don't offer my major, then they would say it would be a no. But it'd always be my option. But majority of the time, they always want to make my own choices because that's what I have to do later in life. So they want to make sure I want to know where I want to go and make my own options.
Awesome. And final question here, Lawson. Again, I want to thank you for the time. Great interview. When you do make that decision to commit somewhere, what is that school getting in you as a player and as a person?
They're getting a hell of a player, I'll tell you that. They're getting a leader no matter what. Even if I'm the freshman on the team, I always want to speak out. I always want to be a leader. I want to be loud. I want to pick up my seniors, my juniors, my sophomores, even my fellow freshmen when I'm in college. I always want to be loud. I know there'll be seniors that will be, louder than me, want to tell me to, sit down, but I always want to pick people up no matter what, like what situation we're in, just like in high school. I know whatever coaches are going to get me, they're going to get a great guy, a great player, great person to talk to, always someone they can rely on, no matter what it is, if it's football wise or not football wise. But overall, they're getting a player who they would want on the football team, someone that will push their team to wherever they need to be, rely on them no matter what time of day it is, and always be there for them, no matter if it's a coach, a player, their family, or anyone else on the staff, trainers, anyone that's on the field with like doing water or anything else like that.
Awesome. Well, Lawson, I want to say thank you for taking the time. Greatly appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing you play this fall. Of course, we'll be covering you guys, and we're waiting to see where you end up committing, because I think wherever you do end up, that program's going to get a hell of a football player and a hell of a kid. So we really do appreciate your time, my man. Stay in touch, and let's do this again soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time to have me on here. Thank you so much.
Of course, anytime. That is Lawson Foley, wide receiver safety at Scituate High School. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Recruiting Visit. Until next time, for Lawson Foley, I'm John Serenitas. Peace.